Illuminating Primer Base Illuminant. Holy highlighter, Batman. It was halfway through the day that my forehead became aggressive. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this, this is what this looks like. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to declutter this. I'm so excited to get this out of my beauty space. I was waiting for this video to do this declutter justice. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another declutter video. I'm actually scooched over a little bit in my beauty space. I'm not over in the corner like you usually see me because I have a little camera set up and we're gonna be going into my very top drawer. My top drawer that has all of my primers, concealers, and foundations. I really need to go through that because I'm actually bringing in more things. I'm doing a wear test today because your girl went to Ulta yesterday. I did a little bit of shopping and I'm trying a new foundation today. You're probably gonna see a sneak peek of that. And I'm just bringing more things in and there's stuff in there I am definitely not using in all three categories. So let's jump into another declutter where I need to be more cutthroat than I have ever been before. Grab your tea, grab your snack, grab your water, get comfy, and let's dive in. Cheers! Okay, so as you can see here, we have a lot going on. We have two different caddies over here for concealers, which is just way too much. It's way too much. Just overflowing and too much for one face. Some stuff has got to have aged out by now. So I really want to dive into this today. I'm really excited about that. And I think maybe we should start with the primers so then we can kind of move along. Let's pull out some of these caddies here so we can really dive into these. Okay, there's a lot in here. I try to keep things organized as you see, but sometimes you get the overflow. Some stuff I've had in my collection for so long that I'm like, what do I even think about some of these things? Because it's been so long since I've actually reached for them. And I'm curious how long things have maybe been in here. This isn't even supposed to be in here. This needs to go in with the foundation, so I'm just gonna move that. That's what happens is things start to overflow. Do you guys remember how many, and I have to use the word years ago, was it that we got this Ilamusca primer, and it's like this jelly primer. It has this really interesting packaging. It's like jelly. It's like jelly. I liked this, I think, gosh, a couple summers ago. I have to say a couple now because we're going into summer and I spent my last summer here in my new house and I remember loving this when I was in my tiny house. So this is definitely, like what's the expiration? 9 months. Well, it's not an eye product. I know I did use this since moving into my new house, but clearly not enough. I need to get rid of this. This is old. No judging. This is a no judgment zone, right? Right? Ooh, I have a very old Tatcha in here from like probably 4 years ago. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I pretty much ran out of it almost. I got some still there on the edges as you can see. But this product I remember really kicked off my love for putty primers, which you're gonna see more of in here. And then I was comparing things to this and then I just kept using the other things. So this is definitely older. Need to toss this out. Yeah, 6 months. This morning, which kind of got kicked off from that last product, is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is something I love. Is this my second one? I can't honestly remember. You could see this morning I hit pan on it. I hit the bottom this morning putting on my foundation. That's newer to me and I'm in the investigative season with at the moment. I'm still trying to decide how I feel about today's makeup, honestly, because I'm trying a lot of new stuff from Ulta. Love this, highly recommend it. Plan to use up the rest of it and probably buy another one so she stays. The fact that we've gone through 3 products and I've decluttered 2, this is a good sign. This is what we need right now. We need to declutter. I'm at the bottom of this and I just need to finish it and I use this probably weekly. So the fact that this tiny little thing has lasted for so long is almost mind-boggling and it's so inexpensive. You've probably heard me talk about it before. This is the AOA Clean Slate Primer. This primer is $1. $1. I find this really helps with texture. This helps with smoothing. It's $1. I love it. It makes my foundations, concealers, all the stuff on top go on so beautifully. Love this. Highly recommend it. If you have never shopped Shop Miss A, the AOA line, just go check them out. I love it. I think this is great. And I keep thinking of like a week away from finishing it, but then I'll use it another couple of weeks and there's still product in here. So I'm going to use her till she's gone. So this is an oldie. And I think Smashbox bought out this product as well from Becca. So if I see another one at Ulta, I need to just pick up a fresh one. This is the Becca Brightening Under Eye Corrector. This is something I fell in love with years ago. And I don't know if this is my second one or not, but it lasts such a long time. And this is still the Becca formula. I do need to get a new one just because I know this is so old, but she does still work really well. You put it underneath the eyes and it does brighten really beautifully. But I will say this was a gateway product for me for another product that's actually in my concealer caddy, but I technically could put it in here. It's the Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand that we got from a BoxyCharm that I thought I was gonna hate because I looked like a concealer. I kind of thought it would be something like this, but it's different but similar. Let me explain. This right here has a pinky hue from the Becca, right? You see it here, she brightens, she's a little pink, but she gives that coverage for the under eyes. I didn't know if this a glow product from Tarte was a highlighter, was it a concealer? It's kind of a little bit of both, if we're gonna be honest. And it's not exactly like the Becca, so I got confused for a while with this, but now I really love this product. It's closer to my skin, as you can see. It also does that illuminating brightness, but it's less coverage, because as you can see here, there's definitely some coverage here for the Becca, whereas this one just kind of melts into my skin, and it does more of that reflective brightening property. So they both had a space in my beauty space for sure, but I will say I honestly found myself using the Tarte Glow way more frequently than the Becca, and this was a diehard for me for a long time. I'm gonna hang on to both of these right now because they both still have a space in my beauty space, but I do need to look at replacing this pretty soon. Glad that Smashbox took on some of those like diehard products because it's so good. I really recommend both of these. So something else is in here that I adore this brand. So why am I not using this primer? I think I need to do some summer investigating, honestly. Let's talk about Peach and Lily. You guys know, if you have been a longtime subscriber of mine, I am obsessed with Peach and Lily. I start a lot of my days with the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum. I told you guys about this before they even really became like a big brand. I think I got one in a BoxyCharm forever ago. Because sometimes, you know, BoxyCharm can be ahead of the popular curve, at least back in the day. I'm hoping they come back to that. But what I'm finding is I've bought like, is this my 6th or 7th bottle of this? This works so well on my skin. Even when I'm trying all kinds of skincare to review for you guys that maybe will make me break out, because I got 2 big breakouts right now from something I was trying from a BoxyCharm. We'll talk about that in a faves and fails upcoming soon. Be subscribed so you don't miss out to know what is really breaking me out. And a couple of you told me it broke you out too. But Peach and Lily always brings my skin back to like that happy baseline for me to start over or just keep doing that. So I purchased, and I think an Ulta 21 day sale or something, the Skin Shield Primer. And it's supposed to be blurring. It's supposed to have some blurring properties and be like your skin's bodyguard to start off your makeup in the morning. It even says on the back here, meet your skin's new bodyguard, fend off damaging daily stressors, pollution, blue light. I hate when companies say that because we all know that's a gimmick. Toxins, makeup with this revolutionary primer. Fully protect while refining and blurring the skin without a drop of silicone. We love to hear it. I don't think I was finding this was blurring as much as some of the other things. Like I said though, I was really discovering some putty primers, I think similarly around that same time. I need to rediscover this. I need to see, so when you pump it out, it looks like this. You just kind of smooth it in. For some reason I was thinking it was like the translucent, more oily water-based, but this definitely has some more grip to her. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I actually am really loving how my hand is looking right now. We have this watery, dewy look, but I'm definitely seeing some smoothing properties right here, all on this side of my hand. Okay, this is definitely going in the summer rotation. And this is why, again, I'm doing these declutters, because sometimes you get overwhelmed. You have so much that you're like, oh, well, I really want to use up the rest of this or this that I'm near the bottom of. And some things get pushed to the back. So I'm really glad I'm doing this declutter right now, because as you've seen through this whole series, eyeshadow palettes, blushes, highlighters, bronzers, the whole thing, It's really helping me to kind of like weed out the stuff that maybe I don't need or I'm not using, and it's hiding the gems. I need to come back to it. We've got some more top tier products in here, but let's talk about this one to start, because how many of you guys fell in love with this with me? This is the Touch and Soul No Pore Blem Primer. No pore blem because she covers the pores. This was like a ride or die when I discovered this, and so many of us had a love affair at the same time with it. I'm not quite halfway down the jar, but you know, she's getting real close. I think this is maybe my second bottle of this. Really, really good. It's something I knew I could trust. Again, I'm always looking for that next pore thing. And by pore thing, I mean cover these pores, mask them, make them smooth, because I have super bossy pores right up front. This I know is really good, so I'm going to finish this one up as well. But I do kind of want to see how many I have at the end of this video as far as primers specifically go, because I'm wondering if I can fit them all into one caddy after this. That's my... Is it a goal? It could be. It could be. This is a pricey beast, but so many of you guys recommended this to me. I think there's an Ulta 21-day sale coming around because I couldn't believe how pricey this was. This was crazy expensive. This little baby is a product I love to use specifically in the spring and summer, but there's a caveat with this. The reason I love using that is because it has SPF in it. This is the Invisiblur Perfecting Shield Broad Spectrum SPF 30 from Murad, and it's a hydrating, blurring primer. So there's good and bad with this. There's still a decent amount of product in here, even though I've had her for quite a while, because if you use too much, it will pill. Your makeup will pill off, or I'll notice some breakouts. So what I tend to do with this specific product that is $71 at Ulta. I got it on an Ulta 21-day sale because I wanted to try it. I was looking for something with some SPF. I was looking for something to help blur the pores. I like Murad as a brand. This is such a unique pump, and it definitely comes out clear, and then you rub it on and it feels thicker. Like you gotta really work in this product, and yeah, it will definitely pill your makeup if you use too much. So you have to go in with a light hand. It's even pilling a little bit right now on my hand from probably some of the other stuff that I just wiped off. So she's temperamental in a way, but she does a good job, especially when you're wanting that little extra SPF and you're wanting some blur, some good skincare benefits to your primer. She's pricey, she's worth it. She does have a little bit of a scent that I'm not in love with, but we overlook that for all of the benefits, or at least I do. But that's why there's still so much product in here. It blurs, it primes, it protects. It does like a triple trifecta here. So we love her, but we have to be really respectful when we use her, because she could make things get a little crazy sometimes too. There's good and bad. Okay, so now there's some stuff in here that if you guys think it's your holy grail, that is awesome, and that's totally okay. Some things just don't work for me and my bossy skin. As you can see, I've got a couple different breakouts going on here. And some people love this brand, but I've also heard some people don't love this brand. How do you feel about Keys? The Keys Soul Care was something that we were getting in our subscription boxes, so I was trying a bunch of different primers and products from Keys. This is the Let Me Glow Illuminating Primer, and I kind of thought this would be super cool because I have two of these in here, and I'm gonna call myself out now. When I knew Becca was going away, there are some things I stockpiled on. How many of you remember the clutch and the chokehold that the Becca First Light priming filter had on us? This was a huge deal in like, what was it, 2016, I think, on YouTube, going into 2017 even. I have two, obviously, one that I'm using, one is a backup. I actually just need to put this one in my backup drawer that's in the other large vanity over there of makeup. But to show you, actually I need to wipe off the Murad first or we're gonna have a mess. You get a pump of her. You spread her all over your face. And this is an luminosity that lives under your makeup. Like this will seep into your skin, soak in so nicely, and just provide that glow, that healthy, dewy look that just makes you look like you've been on a vacation, you're well rested. And as you can see, the longer it sits here, the more it just seeps and soaks into your skin. But you see that healthy, reflective glow, makes you look happy, healthy, and alive. Love that. Fell in love with it. I thought it was going to be too dewy for this oily skin girl, and it was not. It was amazing. And so when I heard this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be just like that. Unfortunately, we can't buy our girl Becca anymore. Oh no, woe is my makeup game. What will I do? I'll try this. Guys, it does not go well. I'm gonna try that over here on this hand to show you a combination. Okay, whoa, that was a squirt. This one is clearly a little bit more skin tone, so I thought it was gonna be even better. But for some reason, this messes up the makeup and it messes up my skin game. It really does. It doesn't have as much positive reflections. Like this is the Becca, this is the Key Soul Care Let It Glow. And my hands are bare. You can kind of see a difference. This one has a little bit more brightening to it, which maybe that's just what my skin likes. This makes my face look more oily. It also makes my makeup not look so hot by midday. My makeup will look great all day long and it will make my skin look really healthy. And I'm kind of wishing I had this on today because I'm trying a new foundation. It kind of made my stuff break apart. And is it because I'm oily? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's my personal skin type, my personal skin. I have very sensitive skin. But this just did not work great for me. And I kept thinking it was something else. I kept wanting to try it because I wanted it to be like this. I wanted a replacement for my friend that was no more. But this is not working for me. I'm not reaching for it. It's just been sitting in my drawer. This though, I think this is still pretty, I don't think this is, well, it says 6 months. How long have I had this? I was gonna say, maybe I'll give this to a girlfriend and see if they like it. I think she's expired though. We're making progress here. We're making progress. Oh, why don't I remember anything positive about this? This is from Rare Beauty. I want to love this brand, but there's only been a few hit or miss things that I've really fallen in love with. And I can't remember how I felt about this primer. Oh, it's another illuminating primer. Okay. Yes, I just wiped off my hand. Let me try this again and make sure my hand's dry this time. Oof, oof, look at this. Whoosh. This is like, how you doing? That's highlighter. Is this highlighter? It's primer, right? Illuminating primer, base illuminant. Holy highlighter, Batman. This is a primer. Getting out the grandma towel. I have a wet wipe here. We're just gonna take it off. We're gonna start again. Start fresh. Whoo, she's dewy. So maybe that was the issue for this oily skin girl because I haven't used this in so long. Oh my goodness. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit better because I used a little less, I think. Not a huge fan of the scent. It smells a little chemically. There's nothing major about the smell. I think this one just illuminates and I usually need something with a little bit of a blur and that was a lot of bling for this oily skin. So that could have been what the problem was, but I have not used this in so long. I might see if a girlfriend wants this because this is just something that isn't working for my personal skin type. I'm not reaching for it, so let's move on. Fenty Pro Filter Primer. I love the powder. Love the powder. Why am I not reaching for this? Let's take a look. I feel like I was using this a little bit more though. So what I'm gonna do is along with some of these other things, I'm gonna keep this in the rotation because I want to rediscover this. This is supposed to be shine stopping and pore diffusing primer that smooths the way to a better foundation application. I'm gonna hang on to this and give her another go and see what I'm feeling. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm trying to remember the last time I used either of these and my brain is just cycling back through a calendar. This is the First Aid Beauty and this is like a coconut smoothie primer. What is the marketing on this? Coconut skin smoothie primer, priming moisturizer. Oh, it's a priming moisturizer for safer sensitive skin. Something I got in a subscription box. I evenly over face, follow with makeup. I think the moisturizer part of this was the problem. Let's see. She's thicker than I thought she was gonna be. And it's probably because it's a moisturizer and I'm wondering if that's why I stopped wearing this because I wonder if it broke me out. Moisturizers I have to be very cautious with. Did this always have a scent? Like a scent, like something that just made me go, ooh, bitter beer face. Like what? What's the expiration date on this? 12 months. Definitely had this longer than that. I'm thinking this may have turned. Yeah, it stinks. I gotta do this. This was bad on me. Now I have used this probably at least within the past 6 to 8 months. I do remember this is the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I remember people loving this. Replenishing face primer with coconut water, probiotic based ingredients, and skin revivers. Put it here into the skin. Feels very watery compared to a lot of this stuff that I've been putting on. So maybe this wasn't giving me any pore blurring, and you know your girl loves that. This just feels very slick, very watery. This is a bad scent, guys. This is a bad scent. With coconut water, probiotic-based ingredients, and skin revivers. I'm wondering if this is turned to, you know what? If it stinks and I'm not gonna want to put it on, we're just gonna do this. All right, and now we have 2 empty caddies here. One big one, one like medium one. So now let's see which one we can fit everything back into, because I think we just got down to 1. Yes, this is why we're doing this. Let's go to this bigger one here and let's just see. Okay, we got those in. Now let's look at this overflowing section of foundations, because I have to go through this. Have to. This is going to be a big portion of this video, I think. Now, yes, there are going to be multiples in here because sometimes your girl is working on getting her best shade match between seasons, and that's where I'm at currently as well. But I have like a whole repertoire here, a whole arsenal of foundation. But I want to prevent that from happening because the overflow is massive. So what we have right here on top that just fell out is something you guys know I love. If you have been a long-time subscriber or if you're new, let me help you out with some amazing drugstore foundations to save your money. Because this has competed with high-end foundations for me for years and years. Let's talk about CoverGirl. This is the CoverGirl Olay Simply Ageless foundation that I cannot get enough of, as you can tell, because I have 4 in my collection. I thought I only had like 2 or 3 at one point, and then I kept finding more in the bottom of this bin. As I started changing seasons and I was looking for a warmer shade, I was like, oh look, I already have them from last season because I love them so much. This has hyaluronic complex vitamin C. This hydrates your skin through the day, but it doesn't make me look oily, and I am an oily skin girl. This blurs. This just looks so beautiful on the skin throughout the day. I just can't get over how good my skin always looks when I use this, which is why I have 4 of them. So, I mean, clearly I love them. Clearly I'm gonna be keeping them, but I need to get rid of some of this other stuff I'm not using so I can make room for the stuff I love and see what's in here. Like I said, I didn't even know that I had other colors in there. Something else that I really love that I got last summer, going into fall maybe, that is sitting on the edge here right on top, is this Patrick Ta foundation and finishing powder duo. I love this foundation a lot. It's great for simple, easy face days. Looks smooth, looks beautiful. Was a new product last summer. Fell in love with her. Can just put her on really easy and go, keeping her. It's the other stuff that I've been trying that I gotta pull this one out because this one broke my heart a little bit. I was reviewing this for you guys probably in the, oh gosh, was it earlier this year even? So it's really new to my collection. It's not necessarily new to the drugstore though. I got this Essence Keep Me Covered foundation. This is like an all-day foundation, right? Long-lasting. She's transfer-proof. She's waterproof. And I'm like, I live where it's very humid. I have oily skin. These are the things that are calling to me because your girl still likes a full coverage from time to time. Today I'm trying something that's a little less full coverage. And I'm trying to decide how I feel about it. I instinctively just want to like kind of cover up certain sections of my face sometimes when I'm putting on some makeup. And this looked beautiful. I have to swatch her for you. So this is thicker. I got it a little bit darker than I probably needed. And she oxidized just a bit. So you're like, oh man. But it kind of cools down. It kind of like comes more into my skin color, especially when you use a damp sponge. She kind of just becomes this beautiful base of makeup. Loved her so much. So what's the problem? What's the problem? Why am I not using her? Thanks for asking. I'm happy to tell you. Midway through the day was when I was all of a sudden going, what happened to this? It was halfway through the day that my forehead became aggressive. And I was like, was I just making a resting bitch face all day, didn't know it, and now I'm looking in the mirror and this is the end result of like me just like doing this at my monitor all day? Like, how did this happen? I work from home. I'm not seeing people all day to make faces or be overly expressive, except for when I'm filming with you guys maybe. So I was like, what's happening? Maybe it was me. So I used this with a different moisturizer to think maybe it's just breaking apart midday. I used it even with my favorite foundation from CoverGirl, kind of mixed it and matched it. No matter what I did, midway through the day, I would have aggressive lines around my eyes. I don't even notice that with any other foundation, including other thick foundations. I just was like, what's happening? So I was trying putting moisturizers on, going, maybe this is so thick, I need more moisture to my skin. No, everything around here was aggressive. Everything up in this midsection, especially where my trouble zone is of being like, did you just say that to me? I do that phase, okay? We all do it. But it got so aggressive and so... You remember the witch from like Snow White where she just has those old lady features? I was like, what happened? It was not good. It was not good. I've tried it several different ways to fix it because I've heard good things. And some of you guys saw I bought it and you were like, oh my gosh, I just bought that too. I hope you love it like I do. I love it at first. It's that first half of the day that you're like, oh, my makeup looks so smooth. Everything looks put together. I love how this lays. I love how my skin looks in this. But midday, everything just starts to look mean and angry. Like she just needs a snack. Give the girl a Snickers because she's really looking cranky and mean. Like that's what this does to my face. So unfortunately, I cannot move on with this. I've tried everything I could. Tried everything. So disappointing too because at first she looks so smooth. You see the luminosity and in a thick foundation that's hard to get. But man, midway, I just look mean. Maybe I'm meaner than I think. I honestly kind of want to dig to the bottom of this to see what else is down here because quite frankly, I don't even know what's in here all the time. I just kind of want to get down into the bottom here. Okay, so this one is from AOA. I just told you guys I'm obsessed with this primer. I'm not so obsessed with the foundation. At some point, I had more than one of them, and I may have gotten rid of them already. I was using this as a pretty good foundation at one point. It's breaking apart. I've not used it, not loving it. I just needed to get rid of it. And I think I've had her for like 2 years. Okay, something else I have an excessive amount of, but I'm not sorry and I will be keeping. This is the problem. When I love something, I buy it in all the colors so I can wear it throughout the year because my skin does adjust a lot through the year. How many of you guys remember when I first discovered the Pure 4-in-1 tinted moisturizers? I have one in like all the colors that will work for me. Got it in a BoxyCharm add-on, I think, in the light version, and I couldn't believe that this tinted moisturizer looked like a foundation on my skin, like gave me enough coverage, but was a tinted moisturizer. It was great for summer, great for spring. I became obsessed. I will even use this sometimes under maybe a thinner foundation or something. I have it in the light, the medium, and the tan. I have it in all of the things because it is so darn good. I have a problem when I like something, I want it in all the colors to keep using it. Is that a problem? Is that a toxic trait? I don't care. I love these. I will be keeping them, and it's because I love all of the excess that I run out of room. If I'm gonna have to start using this other one for foundations, but that's why I'm doing this decluttered, to hopefully not have to. Oh, I have another primer over here. This is what happens. I'm why we can't have nice things. Kids, I have another primer I have to put into the primer drawer over here. This is from Wet n Wild. I recently purchased this and was trying this Impossible primer. Once Wet n Wild became 100% cruelty-free again, I got so excited. And I wasn't sure how I felt about this, but it's because I was trying it with the foundation because I repurchased the foundation that I used to love back in like 2017. Fell in love with this. So tried these together, didn't love it. Ended up loving the primer though pretty well with other foundations that I love. So I'm going to hang on to this Wet n Wild Impossible primer. It's silicone free, but she does give me some nice blurring. She stays. I'm putting her in the drawer. But, I mean, this just segued us to this. I was really disappointed in this. This, though, is the dewy, not the matte. I used to love the matte because, again, oily skin. You assume I can't use anything dewy. I have learned since then I can. It just has to be the right product for me. This product was kind of similar to the Essence. And I'm like, is it a time of year for my personal skin type? I don't know. But this foundation absolutely looks okay at first, but maybe kind of splotchy. But midday, it doesn't do the line thing like the Essence, but it makes my whole face look splotchy. And it looks like I don't have an even coverage. So I was trying different techniques. I was using brushes. I was using sponges. I was using different primers because I used to love this. But I think my tastes have changed, or maybe it's just the dewy version. I'll have to try the matte version because this is just not cutting it for me. This dewy version, I kept trying it going, what am I doing wrong? And actually finding myself frustrated midday when I would start to see it break apart on my skin. maybe it's me, but this dewy version, not cutting it. So she's gone, but I have a couple of things in here that I love because I am excessive when I find something I love. I'm similar to that also when I find clothing I love. If there's a piece of like a dress or a top or something that really flatters, I'll buy it in all the colors because, you know, we like it. I have that same problem with foundations. How many of you guys remember the Chokehold, this Natasha Denona Transform Matte Pore Vanishing Foundation? Did I just say that whole name? And I haven't even used this in a while? Yes. I loved this foundation and I had it in several colors because anytime the BoxyCharm pop-ups had it in a shade close to me, your girl bought it. I have the too much gene, as we know. I'm not sorry. I could probably stop anytime I wanted to, but why would you? 40N Light Medium Neutral is actually the color that works so great for me, and it was the first foundation that I found I understood what my undertone was, because when I found out it was neutral and it worked so well with my skin, it almost looked like my skin but better. It's a matte foundation that still blurred the pores, that did not make me look cakey through the day, which is a hard balance to get. I was like, yes, please. And then I found out Natasha Denona was like getting rid of the line, or they were heavily discounting it and making us all freak out. So I have more. But because I had been trying all of these other drugstore options that I was hoping would be somewhat like this because it is a thicker formula, it just wasn't working. So now I just kind of want to come back to this. I think the 35 light medium red though may not be working for me at all, and I think I may have to get rid of this. Let's just do a quick test for funsies. Actually, this is looking good on the hand. What is it about hand swatches versus face swatches? It's such a different story, isn't it? She's starting to oxidize a bit more red. I am more of a neutral undertone. We'll see at the end. I may get rid of this one, but we'll see at the end what kind of room we're talking about, because this could work for summer. So I was trying this brand Fab Looks, and I liked a few of the items that I've received from them. This is their tinted moisturizer, and this is a breathable texture formula. And I thought she was pretty good, but as you can see, I have something I love already that's a tinted moisturizer, and I have more in here to show you still. This I thought was pretty nice, and it gave, I just put a bunch on here, keep in mind, sorry about that. It gave a decent coverage, but I felt like the finish on it didn't look maybe as nice or as polished as I personally like to see with the other products I love using. And also, as you can see here, it's pretty pale. It kind of just doesn't oxidize in a way that kind of makes it go with your skin. It's just very pale, and I could see like some lines on my hand here, and I know I could see some lines like around the eyes that some of the other stuff just doesn't do for me. So I've also had this for probably about a year now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of her. Yeah, it looks a little bit more cakey too. I always found it to just not settle the same as the other products that I use regularly and have backups, different color shades, things like that above. Speaking of, all right, I'm just gonna out myself yet again. I actually have like 2 more of these in a different drawer because it's when I'm either really pale or really dark. I love these Cali Ray. These are, again, tinted moisturizers. This is the shade 4 and this one is the shade 6. They're not as thick as like the pure tinted moisturizers, but these look really, really good in the summer, especially if I already have a little bit of glow naturally to my skin from being outside, doing all the things. This is just a nice finish on my face. It's something that I've really liked throughout the year, because it's not even just something I'll only use in summer. You can see here, it's just a bit more runny. You know, it doesn't have maybe as thick of coverage as some of the other stuff, but it has this nice illuminating property to it. It definitely makes your skin look like a healthy glow. And Cali Ray is kind of a newer brand. I feel like they've been around maybe a year or 2, and I've liked a lot of their products. They sent this to me in PR a while back, and I just couldn't get over how good it was, and I've talked about it even outside of just when they had first sent it to me, because I think it's a really great quality, and it's a little bit pricier though than maybe some of the Pure items and some of the other things that I love, but I'm definitely going to be hanging on to these. These are good. All right, it's been a while. I was actually at Ulta the other day going, when's the last time I used my IT CC Plus color correcting full coverage cream with SPF 50? This is something that I need to either rediscover or get rid of. It's been a while. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this, oh, this is what this looks like. Okay, I hadn't taken it off yet. Back up just a second. Is what the 35R light medium red in the Natasha Denona. I don't think I'll ever be that red based unless I have a huge sunburn. I don't know, in an unhealthy way. So I think because, oh my gosh, it looks like it has like a handful of blush on my skin tone. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because it's just too dark for me. Look at me. I'm still growing. I'm growing as a beauty lover of makeup because I would be like, this is a pretty full thing of Natasha Denona. Although I've had it for a long time, I may see if I can give this to a friend with a better skin tone than me because it's such a good product. I love it, but I don't reach for it because look at that. That's orange. That's orange on me. Look at me growing. I'm gonna declutter that. Oh, 2019 Nichole would never. Back to the It Plus CC cream. I've not used her in a while. This was a lot of people's favorites. Is it still your favorite? I'm really curious. A lot of people raved about this for a really long time, and it was what made me be like, all right, now I got to know what the hype is about, right? It is a heavier coverage, and I think that might be why I don't hear about it much anymore, because everyone's kind of gone to this more like clean girl look where it's a little bit more show some freckles, have a little less makeup on, less heavy makeup necessarily, and this is in the shade medium. Still see some good luminosity with that. I'm trying to remember how I felt about it. I feel like sometimes it would be a little too cakey for me. But I'm going to rediscover this because it's got some good SPF in it, and this is the time of year your girl really needs to be upping her SPF game on her face. So I'm going to keep this and I'm going to rediscover it and see how I feel about it. I feel like a lot of stuff in here I've been telling you I love and I've had backups of different colors, but not stuff that I'm like, you know, I need to rediscover this. So I'm going to put that in this category. Oh, I was just thinking about this foundation the other day. For some people, it's too much coverage, especially probably because I said we're all in this clean girl moment of like more natural faces. But this Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation is, if you need that full beat, for me and my skin, it is stunning. Now, I won't lie, this is a thicker foundation again, so this turned off some people because it maybe made them look too glowy by midday, because to counteract the, you know, matteness of it all, some people said that this was too much for their skin, and I could totally see it. But I feel like for me, even midday, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, my makeup still looks fresh and beautiful. This is something that I have loved and was actually thinking about it when I was in the drugstore the other day when I was perusing again. I was just sitting there looking going, you know what, I haven't pulled out that foundation in a while, and sometimes I want a little bit more coverage in these areas that this lighter makeup just isn't doing. So I'm gonna play with her again soon. I am. All right, what I'm trying today, just a little sneak peek onto maybe an upcoming faves and fails video, is something from Tarte. I got the mini version because I wasn't sold on if this would work for me, and I'm glad I did. This is only day one trialing it, so I'm gonna let you know in a future video, but this is the Tarte Double Duty Face Tape Foundation. I was curious about it. I'm not gonna go too deep into it right now. I'm not gonna be decluttering it because I just got it at the moment, but time will tell how I feel about this, because it kind of, it's you know, Shape Tape's trying to, you know, rebrand themselves a little bit because they were the thing for a while, and now like the marketing is cooled off, you know, like things go in waves and phases. They're trying to essentially bring it back, and I'm still trying to decide how I feel about my makeup today, and I'll let you know about the lastability and stuff in a future video. I'm just gonna clean this out a little bit here, and we're gonna put all of this back in here. I'm so excited because I wanna see how much we can actually fit in here. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is put tinted moisturizers in this small one that we emptied from really decluttering a ton of primers, so that way I can kind of see what is a tinted moisturizer and what is a foundation. Things are fitting so nicely. I am super excited. Let's do concealers and knock this video out, guys. I already told you guys, I kind of consider this a primer, but the Tarte Glow shape tape wand thing. This is staying. Love it. I use it a lot. Even when I'm not even really wearing makeup, I just need something a little under here and go. It's great. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to declutter this. I'm so excited to get this out of my beauty space. I was waiting for this video to do this declutter justice and get rid of this nasty, terrible, no good, very bad concealer. When I tell you don't waste your money on this, trust me. I tried this so many different ways. It is a newer product that I wasn't hearing too much hype about, but as soon as I was finding it online, because as soon as you buy something, it's like the algorithm knows and you get all the ads for this product, everyone in the comments on this product hated this CoverGirl product, which breaks my heart because you just saw how obsessed I am with this line of foundations. This is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Triple Action Concealer. And the weird part about this is the wand. It's just like this doe foot that has no doe foot. It's just the stick. And they call it like a cooling, I don't know what they try to sell it as, but it is not. It does not do a very good job of concealing. You put on more than you need. You have on too little. You go back and forth with it. And it's not even just that. It's the fact that it creases like crazy under your eyes. If you're someone who doesn't even have a lot of under eye like crinkling, this product will give it to you. If you want to know what you're going to look like in another 10, 15 years, put on this concealer, let it sink in, and then you can see what your future looks like. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't like it. It's going. I'm not even going to try to give this to someone else who it might work better for because I don't want to insult anybody. No, she's going. Wasted my money, but that was just, I learned it so you don't have to. Ugh. I have feelings about that. Can you tell? Oh my gosh, I did it again. I have 3 in different shades. It's what I do apparently. I find something I really love and then I get it in different shades as the seasons change. I mean, it's an endorsement for a product though, right? So you know I love this e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have 3 in different colors because it works so well. I don't like the matte version. And that is weird for me to say because for a long time, all you heard me talk about were matte products. I was like, it's matte, it helps well with my oily skin, oh la 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 la. No. Avoid, well, if you're anything like my skin, avoid the matte version of this and get the hydrating because the hydrating is so creamy and so smooth and it does not allow for crinkling under the eyes. It doesn't do anything negative. It just gives you nice coverage, spreads beautifully, blends beautifully. I am obsessed with this. Love it. Just go buy it. I have 3. It tells you my feelings. I have 3. This kind of shocked me because I think this line or maybe this beauty brand is going away, but I actually really liked the concealer in spite of the fact that I wasn't familiar with the brand, but also the doe foot is kind of a big drawback, but I loved the product last summer. And I have found myself still reaching for it from time to time. It's just more of a tone that's more my summer color. This is the Item Beauty Air Hug Concealer. It came kind of dark, or at least I thought it was kind of dark. And the doe foot, it's just a stick. Like it's not even like a good doe foot. It's just a stick with some cushion on it. But I really found this looked beautiful under the eyes. And it just kind of gave that, I think this is where I learned I don't have to brighten with concealers because that's just kind of like the makeup vibe I go with. I want to brighten this area. But I found when I used this, it just kind of made my face look like it just had a nice suntan. It had a nice base to it that seemed more simple and there was no brightening there. I really liked this. I think the brand is going away, like I said, but I think it's smooth. I don't think it creases under my eyes, doesn't give me the crinkles. I like it. I'm going to keep it and finish using it up. All right, something I kind of forgot about and was buried under things is this Laura Geller product. I love Laura Geller. I have loved her baked blushes. I have loved so many of her things that I'm sad this was such a flop. Such a flop. This is the Laura Geller Filter First Concealer, a luminous concealer. And the first time I tried it, it was so watery that I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. And then I made myself continue to try it because I thought I was just going to declutter it right away. And then I saw some like okay properties to it, but it just isn't something I'm reaching for. I think because I remember it being so watery to the point that when I opened it and was putting it on my hand, water dripped down. I showed you guys in a video. I couldn't believe it. And once it's on, like after you get past, I guess, the wateriness of it or something, why do I just get a whiff of stink? It looks pretty on the skin even right now as I'm looking at it. It looks luminous, so I think I ended up liking it after a while, but I think it's turned. I've not even had it as long as some of this other stuff I've decluttered. This stinks. It's got a 12-month lifespan. I'm trying to remember when I got it. I got it, I think, last summer. So I'm maybe close to the year mark. I just don't find myself reaching for it. I only did it from time to time. I think it also pulled away makeup a little bit, like the foundation I already had, because of the tact to it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. This is super duper thick. If you need a really thick concealer, like you're doing theater, you're doing like stuff on TV, and you need the thickest coverage possible, and you need to not spend a lot of money, I have the product for you. This is the AOA concealer. I love the Shop Miss A line. I've said that before. I have a whole video on it. This AOA concealer is super thick. So thick that I used it, I think, to do an eye look even after I was like, I had a little bit, oh man, I'm gonna do it. I had some out to use it as a concealer. It ended up being so thick that I had it on like a palette here, and I ended up using it to help cut my crease and do all the other things for my eyes because it was just so much, and a little bit will do ya. It went a long way. Look at that coverage. There was a tiny bit, and it just keeps going. It grows. It's like that bubble gum that grows in your mouth. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's super coverage, super duper coverage. Very inexpensive. I don't ever reach for it because I don't need anything. I feel like when I put something that heavy under there, that's when it's gonna start looking more crepey. And if it's hot, you know, it's just not a good concoction for my face. So quality, if you were doing some theater or if you're just someone who needs that full beat, you go for it. For me, I've had this 2 years now and I haven't touched her in a very long time. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Speaking of super duper high coverage, if you need high coverage and maybe you're like, I wanna go to Ulta and pick up something, this tiny bit of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Concealer, the under eye, oh my gosh. This will erase your face. Full coverage, anti-aging, waterproof. I'll be honest, I was super curious, but I'm so glad when I was curious about it, I bought this tiny little thing because dear Lord, it is just like that other piece that I was just saying. You just need a tiny bit and it is just like thick. She's thick. This one actually doesn't spread as well because she's so thick, she's tacking down. Like she's just like living in this quadrant of my hand here and masking all of the things. I've kept it though because, well, for things like this, but I couldn't find it because it was hidden. When I have a huge like cyst-like blemish, nothing covers it. So I actually think I bought this for something like that, and then it's been hidden on the bottom, so I haven't even been using it when I need it for those things. So I'll hang on to it to see if I use it for these things, if it works well for me. And if not, I will let you know and put it in a future declutter. But it's tiny, it's not holding a ton of space. It's just so thick, so thick. But it could also be good for like doing an eye look too. These are both some die-hard loves for me, but I have not reached for either of these in months and months, actually, now that I say this. I can't believe how expensive this one has gotten because it was not as pricey when I first got this. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Concealer. This is to conceal, contour, highlight, retouch. This does all the things. This was my go-to concealer that I could not do my makeup without for so darn long. So good. Again, a thicker formula, but it did not bunch under the eyes. It definitely gave easy concealing moment that just blended everything together, made it look great, did not, for being as thick as it is, and the amount of coverage you get with this, it did not crease. It did not move. It did not bunch. So good. It's still really good. I'm gonna hang on to this, but I find I'm not using it as much. I've definitely been in my e.l.f. 16-hour hydrating concealer moment because it's less thick of a coverage. It still kind of moves with me, whereas this is very thick. But also I find if I'm using a thinner foundation, it's kind of hard to use such a thick covering concealer because it doesn't necessarily match what's going on. So that's kind of, I think, where I've not been using this as much. Now, this e.l.f. brightening pen, I was obsessed with this. This is the Flawless Brightening Concealer from e.l.f. You pump it up like a pen, and then yeah, brush her on here. And it is really good for brightening. It looks like it's got some good coverage. It's nice and dewy, nice and bright. I'm gonna put this back in the rotation a bit because this is looking really nice. I love doing these things because sometimes you rediscover like why something was so good and you're like, oh, this just got off my radar. It just kind of got moved because of all the other stuff, and I've been using the same thing for forever. We're at the end of this. I did not think we'd get here, but we're here. We're here. Let's finalize this by putting this last caddy in here. Are you still here? Are you still awake? Take a drink, shake it up a little bit. I just feel so refreshed after one of these videos. They take a long time to film, I'll be honest, they take a long time to edit. But every time I finish a drawer or finish a section of my makeup collection, it's like I just took 50 pounds of just extra crap off of my shoulders, and I'm like, I can see now everything I want to use, things that I want to rediscover, things that I love, things that spark the joy of what I want to do in the mornings when I sit down in this beauty space and just start my morning of like, what do I want to play with today? What do I want to put on my makeup? Because that's kind of like my me time, my zen time. So removing the excess feels like such a daunting task when I sit down to do these videos, but I feel so good afterwards. That's why I keep doing this. So if you are looking for some kind of like motivation, declutter with me, kind of go through the sections with you, rewatch the videos, go through them with me, and just kind of get that out for you and be like, oh yeah, I don't use this, or how do I feel about this? Sometimes touching and swatching everything, even though it takes a long time in these videos, makes so much more sense and makes me realize what I'm loving, what I want to rediscover, and what I can put away and be done with. And everything looks so organized right now. I just keep looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like it's curated. It doesn't look like a hot mess anymore. It's so exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching and going through another long declutter with me. I love touching every little thing though with you guys and telling you what's going on with it, swatching it, testing it, doing all this stuff. So you know a little bit more details if you're curious, or maybe you just want to go through your collection in a similar way. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do happen to be new, hi new friends. I see a lot of long-time lurkers but not subscribers. I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on my upcoming videos. I still have to get through some powders in my collection. There's a lot of those brow products. There's still more things to come, so I hope you hang out. Bye friends.